Computer. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a little delayed, but I'm so glad to say that welcome back to the Fat Katz Podcast. And before we get into it, I want to just jump in and say Happy Born Day, December 20th, 2024. Cam, you know what's born today?
No.
Damn college football playoff born today. The 12-man college football playoff is born
there
today.
There we go.
8 o'clock tonight. The Indiana Hoosiers are taking on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. It is the battle of the state of Indiana. What else was I missing from today? I think that's it, Cam. I think that's it. So happy Born Day to the college football playoff. Big man Cameron Taylor, Mr. Mack Truck Hat. How we doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. I'm living the dream. We're back on the Fat Katz. My favorite hour of the week was gone for a few months or for a month or so. But I want to say to everybody, I mean, we've had a lot of people texting me. I don't know if you've gotten the same treatment, Ward. I've found out real quick this year that when you get to about right to Thanksgiving, the white collar business world explodes.
Yeah.
You got so much work. I've probably been working 60-hour weeks the past month. So it's hard to find an hour where both me and Ward aren't busy.
So all the white collar folks, especially the boys in sales, women in sales, the professional world that I work in, Cam. I don't know if your coworkers have had this, but boy, it's quota season. And if you were a little behind on your quota, you got to do what you got to do. So I know for me personally, I've been in the past month, I've been to Baltimore twice, been to New Jersey, been to Myrtle Beach, New Orleans, and Charlotte. So 6, but so only a couple places really far away. But hey, you got to do what you got to do to close the deal, right, Cam?
When you're a high roller like Ward Sewell, man, you get to go wherever the hell you want, whenever you want.
Hey, I think you're the high roll, man. Your background looks a little bit cooler than mine. But well, hey, earlier I know y'all did hear us mention the college football playoff. Cam, I do want to jump right into it. Because there's a few teams that got in. Like shout out to the ACC putting 2 teams in. Everybody talk shit on the ACC. I can't believe that SMU. The newbies, I think every conference had a newbie come close to winning or almost win the conference, which is kind of crazy to think. No, I know the SEC had Texas play in the conference championship, newbie. ACC had SMU, newbie. Big Ten had Oregon win it, newbie. Big 12, who won the Big 12? I'm tripping.
The Big 12.
It was Iowa State, Arizona State, Arizona State, newbie, and then I don't think the Pac-12 had one.
No, but Boise State, not a newbie to the Big West.
Not a newbie to the Big West, but no, Cam, I do want to before we jump into it, I do want to say there was a team that I felt was left out personally. I know a lot of people were throwing Alabama out there, not saying Alabama. A lot of people are throwing Ole Miss out there, not saying Ole Miss. But Cam, you see this?
Oh, no.
Them NC State Wolfpack. Well, tell me a 6-win team in the United States that's better than them NC State Wolfpack.
I will say, nobody on this planet knows the NC State football program better than Ward Sewell. At the beginning of the season, what did we all hear? Hey, man, on paper, this is the best team Dave Doran's ever had. But when we have these expectations, we stink. And what do, Ward? They went out and they stunk, man.
Hey, man, we had nothing but high-quality losses. Duke Blue Devils, Wake Forest Demon Deacons, Clemson Tigers, Tennessee Volunteers. Just a couple high-quality losses in there. But no, Cam, just kidding. State didn't even deserve to get in the bowl game. But you know what we did do, Cam?
What did we do?
We set Mac Brown packing, baby. We sent Mac packing. That's 9 out of the last 12. That's 4 out of the last 4. Dude, Mac, I didn't want to see Mac go. Mac's been good to us. He ain't beat us yet, Cam. He might have beat us in his first stint in Chapel Hill, but he ain't beat us in the second stint. So,
dude, I said that when Louisville got rid of Scott Satterfield, it was one of the worst days of my life. I was like,
speaking of that, Cam, I have not talked to you about that. God, y'all got y'all's asses beat.
Dude, that was part of the reason we've delayed the podcast so long. I wanted to get as far away from Kentucky football as I could have. If you would have been around me, I was begging Mark Stoops to interview for a different job, and it's not going to happen.
Has anybody hit him up or not?
No. Our defense coordinator's gotten more head coaching interviews than Mark Stoops.
Our DC just took the Marshall job.
I saw that.
Yeah, our DC took Tony Gibson took the Marshall job. He already has 7 people from the Wolfpack that are committed to Marshall. Yeah,
I'll be touching on the herd later.
Yeah,
yeah, Kentucky football lost. I do want to get this out of the way. Justin Alford thinks I've been ducking him. Kentucky did go to Clemson and lose in basketball, which I didn't know that Clemson played basketball until just now. So
I forgot to text you about that. He texted me too about that, and he said,
"Oh, he DM'd me. He did a wellness check on me. He's like, "Are you all right?" Like, "Yeah, I'm good, Justin. Like, you focus on the college football playoffs. I'll take care of basketball over here." So.
But Cam, basketball doesn't matter until March. You know, look at a team like the NC State Wolfpack, who was the second to last seed in the ACC last year, and they still went to the Final Four. So, Cam, regular season is just warm up, man. It's about getting hot at the right time.
When your football team stinks, basketball starts in October.
Yeah.
You start thinking about those basketball matches.
State basketball not playing too good, Cam, not gonna lie. We struck magic last year. We have beat one Power 5 school, and that is the Florida State Seminoles, who is a good basketball team, by the way. BYU kicked our ass, boy. We played Kansas the other night. Ooh, that didn't go well.
Is that Kevin Keats' contract not looking so hot right now?
Kevin Keats he's good. He's good on he took us to the Final Four.
I get it.
He's good for
he's built up. He's built up a lot of goodwill.
But he has some excuses, man. His whole team left last year. Not one of them got drafted. But boy, let me tell you, DJ Burns is doing his thing overseas. Let me tell you,
dude. Hey, DJ Burns missed out, and we'll talk on this. Diego Pavia has changed the landscape of college athletics. But I do want to remind everybody real quick before we get way into it, Ward. Find us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. If you're here, you know that. Be a friend, tell a friend. Leave us a like, leave us a comment. Subscribe if you're new. Helps us out a ton. Find us on Instagram and TikTok at Fat Katz Pod. We've already gotten into college football a little bit. We got a lot of NFL to go over. It's going to be a strictly football podcast, I believe. This is like the best weekend in football history, maybe, with the NFL matchups, the 12-team college football playoff. So can't wait to get into it. Ward, you want to start off with first favorite forgotten here?
Cam, I had the TV up. I just want you to take a guess. What do you think these bums are talking about right now? That bum right there in the hat.
Cam Newton.
What do you think? What do you think, old Hattie man, Cam Newton's talking? Y'all have something in common. Y'all are both wearing hats. What do you think they're talking about right now, Cam?
They're probably talking about 7-on-7 football.
They're talking about why Josh Allen versus they're talking about Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson on who should win the MVP.
Okay, I mean that's not
that was a good guess, but yeah, Cam, let me kick us off. First favorite forgotten, Cam. I only got one this week. You know, I've been slacking on first favorite forgotten. First favorite forgotten. I'm just going to do this. This man did that to Josh Norman on FedEx Field, and yeah, it was kind of embarrassing to our organization because we lost to the Titans 1-2. 77 made us look like a bunch of bums. But Taylor Lewan, we don't give shout outs on here. He does have another podcast that is a little bit of rival to ours. And he did also interview a very, very controversial trans lady and got a lot of backlash for it. So he's the first one that came to mind. He's not my favorite, but Taylor Lewan.
You know, for those of you who don't know, me and James Fry recorded this podcast last week, episode 77, and the episode just disappeared from the face of the earth somehow. James Fry also had Taylor Lewan as his first, and he also brought up said interview that Ward just talked about. I can't escape it. I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
What's that lady's name, or that guy lady's name that he
I don't know. I don't usually check into this.
I used to listen to a lot of their episodes. I'm not gonna lie. I used to love listening to those guys. Yeah. That one kind of threw me off a little bit, man. I'm not gonna lie. And I will say, Will Compton, he was a former linebacker for the Redskins, did not appear on that episode because his wife was sick.
There we go.
I think he was thinking the same thing as us, Cam. That's why he didn't go. But
speaking of Barstool, real quick. Have you watched this John Gruden stuff they're putting out, man?
Incredible, man.
Dude, he is
I don't
awesome.
The only thing I ever repost on TikTok is Fat Katz clips. But boy, I saw one the other day. He was like, it's Christmas time. A lot of people were dreaming about presents under the tree, fires in the chimney, eating. I don't know what all he said. And he goes, "I'm in the nightmares." I'm like, "Oh hell yeah!" And then he
Dude,
starts
he's the
talking
best.
about Jared Goff just dicing up, or Baker Mayfield dicing somebody up. With it, dude, that's awesome.
Dude, he's awesome, man. He's the best. I saw a clip yesterday. He's talking about Janikowski when they drafted Janikowski. He's like he started off the year, the first 3 games. I don't think he made a kick. He's like then we're in St. Louis or wherever they were. He's like he doesn't make curfew. He comes back in the hotel at 3 a.m. He's like we drove. It was the first drive of the game, and we had a 58-yard field goal. He's like I sent him out there. I wanted him to miss. You can't make field goals. You can't make curfew. I want you off my football team. I wanted him. He said the special teams coordinator came up to him. He's like, "What the hell is wrong with you? He can't make this." He said he made a 58-yard field goal right down the middle, and he met him at the hash. Just like, "Hell of a job, Janikowski."
That's
He's
hilarious.
the
No,
best, man.
he's incredible, man. I know I remember watching him on. I've never really got into Hard Knocks. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I've watched a little bit of it, but I haven't just really dove into it since the early days. One Hard Knocks I watched every episode of was Antonio Brown, John Gruden, Raiders Hard Knocks.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I remember when he I cannot remember the guy's name, BJ or DJ something. He was on Last Chance U. He was the defensive lineman and he got signed to the
Ronald Ollie.
Ollie. Yeah. I don't know where I got DJ from, but
You're thinking DJ Burns, dog. You're still DJ
I was
Burns.
the first person that came to mind was BJ Anya. Any NC State guys know anything about BJ Anya? You want to talk about Burns being big? Go look at BJ Anya.
Hey, BJ Anya walked or crawled so that the
He used
DJ
to kick Kennedy Meeks' ass in Chapel Hill. That's all I got to say. But anyway, I remember Ronald Ollie went to the Raiders. He was late on his first day, and Gruden's like, "Yeah, screw this guy. This guy's gone," and just cut him immediately on live TV. And I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah,
Dude, when Gruden used to do the quarterback breakdowns for when he'd bring him.
Who was it? I saw a clip the other day. He ripped somebody that saying this is not going to be a good quarterback, and it's a top 5 quarterback in the league now. I can't remember who it was, but
I don't know. He's had a ton. He's the best,
Yeah.
man. He just sits back in that chair. Draw up Spider Y2 banana up there. It's like, dude, we don't run that. We don't have fullbacks in the NFL anymore, John.
yeah.
Let me run through these real quick. My first was Andrew Whitworth. Steelers played against this guy for twice a year for what seemed like my whole childhood. Won a championship with the Rams. Tyron Smith. I don't really have a favorite 77, so I threw Tyron Smith in there. He's one of the best left tackles.
Cowboy.
And then forgotten, I got Andre Bargnani, former first overall pick to the Toronto Raptors, and he one of the few NBA players to wear 77. Luka Doncic didn't make this list, by the way. I don't know how that happened, but
Yeah, I mentioned him, but I'm not that big of a fan of Luka. He's all right, but
dude, the NBA is bad, man. I tried to watch an NBA game a few nights ago. The product is bad. They've got to fix something.
I saw LeBron had a game. LeBron passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in most minutes played last night, and then Wemby had 50 last night. He's been playing pretty good camp, but
biggest bust in NBA history, Victor Wembanyama.
How's what rookie's playing good in the NBA right now?
Dude,
I saw Bronny James going off in G League. He had 30 points the other night.
Ward, I'd like to play this game. Do you know who the first overall pick was in this last draft?
Frenchie. Couldn't tell you his name. Wemby Jr.
Do you know who drafted him?
Wasn't the Pistons.
No. To be fair, 2 Frenchmen went back to back, 1 and 2 in the NBA.
I know. I don't remember. I know the Hornets drafted a French guy, and I'm like, what the hell are we? I mean, I'm not that big of an NBA fan. But and another thing I don't understand, speaking of NBA, why the Hornets never have the first pick, because we always suck. They're like the Redskins are good this year, but the Hornets have never been. When have they been good?
Dude, they had
the Bobcats even sucked.
Oh, the Bobcats were worse. I think they had 1 year with Kimba and Al Jefferson where they got the 8th seed.
I don't remember. I don't follow NBA that hard, but I know you don't see any Hornets jerseys around town. I can tell you don't see any ball jerseys number 2 around town. But
I will say though, if the Panthers 2015 run is any shows us what it is, if the Hornets have a good year, everybody in the city will be Hornets fans.
Yeah, so you're in Charlotte, so you can speak.
Zachary Richishar, by the way, got drafted to the Hawks, #1 overall this year.
Hawks, that's right, the Hawks.
Yeah.
How's he playing? I haven't heard his name once. So.
I couldn't tell you. Ward, full plate, empty stomach. For those of you who are new, full plate is somebody who had a good week in sports. Empty stomach is somebody who had a bad week in sports. Go ahead and start us off, big dog.
Cool, Cam. As you know, I've shouted out my Washington Commanders. First 9-win season since 2016. So we went down to New Orleans, tried everything in our power to blow it, but we ended up winning. So
for those of you who don't know, this is going to get posted, by the way. Ward made the montage coming out of break for an NFL game on Fox. Dude, what was it? It was Terry. They missed the deep ball.
2 minutes left, Cam. We have a chance. We're down by, we're up by.
Should have been 7.
We're up by a touchdown. Okay, we're up. I think it was 24-17, something like that, or 17, whatever. We're up by a touchdown, and Terry should have had 4 touchdowns this game. He had 2.
Oh my God, yeah.
But dude, we missed him we overthrew him on a bomb, and we threw him short on a bomb. Anyway, a little backstory behind how getting on Fox. I bought tickets kind of up top. I was on the field, or I was on like behind the sideline in the 100 section, but I was like row 30. I have learned, Cam, if you go on SeatGeek or Ticketmaster, on your 30 minutes before kickoff, go see what seats are available in your section. Okay. I saw 2 seats, 2 rows behind the bench that were available. These people were asking on, I can't remember what the exact price was, but on SeatGeek, it was like a 5.0 deal score. Nobody was buying those seats. So anyway, I'm like, hey, Maddie, come here. Let's go down and take a picture. We walk down the aisle and we sit right there. We end up sitting beside Dorrance Armstrong's parents, who's our starting defensive end. Anyway, Cam, we're sitting there. By
the way, let me cut you off real quick. That is the Ward Sewell special. Ward, if he's in venue, he's finding better seats.
Yeah, we're sitting good. And boy, my Madison hates it, man. She hates it when I make us go sit because we've gotten kicked off a time or two, and she gets all embarrassed. I don't personally care. I'll just go sit in some other seats. But anyway, Cam, the beers were flowing big time. By the way, New Orleans beer is only $10 a piece in the stadium, which isn't that bad. I know DC's like 15 a piece. But anyway, we're down there, man. Right in front of me, Terry does a double move, burns the Saints DB. I mean, he has him by 4 yards. They're in a cover 1, so safety's like flaring over on the other side of the field. Terry is wide open down the sideline. And Jaden had a little bit of pressure in his face, and he put it a little short. Terry came back, and then the ball came off the DB's back. And then Terry almost caught it. And there was me, and happened to know Fox Sports. They had that camera that was on, it looks like it's on like black fishing line going across the stadium. I look up and it's pointing right at us. And I'm like, I don't know what it's recording. And the next thing you know, I get 6 texts with 1.5 minutes in the game. The Saints are driving down the field about to score. People just keep texting me like, bro, are you at the game? Dude, I just saw you on TV. I'm like, you got to be kidding. How am I supposed to focus on this game knowing I just got on Fox, But yeah, kind of cool.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. When I got that text, Connor called me and sent me the video. It was awesome, man. And by the way, if you would have just saw that montage of the drop, you doing the surrender code, you would have thought you guys were down by 40 points. Dude. Your hat's off. You're like, no. It was awesome.
That is hilarious, man. That is hilarious. But it was a good time. There's not a bad seat in that stadium, dude. That stadium's awesome. It's not as cool as Atlanta. Not as cool as Atlanta, but it's a cool stadium.
We're going to talk more New Orleans, but New Orleans for a weekend or a couple of days is awesome. It's one of the best cities in America.
Yes.
My first full plate, Ward, I'm going to send this one out to all the Division I athletes from 2016 to 2020. If you played Division I football between those years, you got an email yesterday that gives you a password to the $2.8 billion NIL settlement that the NCAA has made. I heard some Kentucky guys talking, and we're talking like offensive linemen and special teamers that got between $75,000 and $300,000.
From what?
The NCAA NIL settlement. So anybody who played from
Holy
2016,
shit.
yeah. So what happened? every team in every Division I school in America sent money to the NCAA. It totaled up to $2.8 billion, and they're sending it out to all Division I athletes from 2016 to 2020.
Holy shit. So I'm trying to, like, how much money do you think a Baker Mayfield or a Tua Tagovailoa or
So
a
a lot.
Saquon Barkley? I'm
A
trying to think
lot.
somebody who was drafted in Chase Young. Boom.
Yeah.
Played 4 years at Ohio State from 2017 to 2020.
Yeah.
Think of some guys right in between that played.
Well, and the thing is, like, if you graduated in 2016, you only get a year of that money. So the guys who graduated in COVID are making a lot of money.
Joe Burrow. I mean, he had 2 years at LSU. He had one really good year. Trevor Lawrence.
I'll tell you who if I was them, I'd be mad. All those guys who graduated in 2015. Or think Ward, like, think of a guy who was supposed to graduate in 2016 and was like, I'm gonna bet on myself. I'm gonna go to the NFL, or
Marcus Mariota went number 1 overall.
Yeah. Like, dude, they're missing out on a ton of money.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm interested. Like, is there any like college basketball guys that played for 4 years that were like studs in between that time? Like, I can't think of any, but like the amount of money that's getting thrown around, like, you think, like, when you hear settlement for NCAA,
Dennis Smith, I wonder how much money he got.
Yeah, but you think
he
like
played 2017, 2018.
Like, I thought, like, when I first heard this, I was like, what, are they just going to give everybody $300 and say,
yeah,
good for you? Dude, no. There was a story, a Western Kentucky walk-on long snapper. He didn't play a snap his entire career. He got like $4,000.
You're kidding.
Ward, you need to check it out. I think FCS applies, man.
I'll have to make some phone calls and see who because I know I haven't heard anything about that.
We got to get Seth on the podcast today.
Yeah, I'm curious about that, or like a Drew.
Yeah.
Drew was on the podcast. Even Isaiah from Charlotte.
Yeah.
I wonder if I saw he posted something on Instagram the other day. He said, "I'll come back if," and then he posted like if you give me $5 million and you make Charlotte's football field Zayswole Field or something like that. I thought that was kind of funny.
He's the best, man. I love that dude.
Yeah. We ought to make some phone calls and get some people on just ask them about like some of the NIL stuff.
Yeah, I'll make some phone calls. I'll see. Like, we got Keon. We can ask Keon.
Yeah.
And
he was part of Salvage Wolves NIL at State, so I know he made some money.
And like, I want to say to everybody listening, like, we're not gonna throw you out. We're not gonna be like, oh, Drew made this exact amount. We'll just say it was a lot of money, or it's.
Well, I can tell you right now that Auburn University, I'm not going to say the exact number out there, but Casey Concepcion, he's number 2 ranked player in the portal right now, NC State wide receiver. Auburn University has offered him a lot of money, and I'm gonna tell you it's somewhere between $5 and $10 million. If that
the money in the portal right now is crazy. Like, you look at basketball, AJ DeBonsa, the number 1 recruit, just signed with BYU. Ward, he's making
that's crazy to me.
$7 million to go play for BYU.
This is okay. So Cam, I know we're going off topic, but my thing is, BYU, great school, but you got to think, Cam, put yourself in an 18-year-old athlete's shoes. You ain't going to go see many women at BYU. You're not going to go party.
You'll see a lot of them. You'll see a lot of them.
I mean, dude, it's a Mormon school. I'm going to get elephant in the room. BYU is a Mormon college, okay? I remember there was a thing about, and I'm not an advocate for this in any way, but there was a documentary that came out, an E60 a few years ago. A BYU football player got caught having sex with his girlfriend, who also went to BYU, but they were not married. Both of them got kicked out of the school.
That was Jamal Williams. You remember the running back for the Lions?
It was him?
Yes.
I thought it was an offensive lineman. No crap. I didn't know that. But you got to think, man, like, 18-year-old college athletes, they like to party, they like to, go down and maybe make a new girlfriend, at a school. I don't know. That's just it's not all about that, obviously. But
Ward, is $7 million enough for you to not have sex for a year? I mean, that's what it comes down to, right?
It's a lot of money. But
So, I mean, that's what it comes
Hey,
down to.
money can't buy happiness, man. But we'll keep on moving forward.
I got two empty stomachs, so I'm gonna hit one more. My first empty stomach is going to the Jets ownership board. Have you seen everything that's come out about the Jets the past couple of days?
I know there's a lot. Haven't seen everything that's come out, but there's a
Dude,
dumpster fire in New York.
the Jets ownership, it's Johnson and Johnson. So what
Yeah,
I think
healthcare company.
yeah, I think it's Woody Johnson.
I didn't
His
know they
17
support. They bought them.
they had a trade in place this offseason award for Jerry Jeudy and Woody Johnson's grandson, who was 17 years old, vetoed the trade. Told Woody to veto the trade because Jerry Judy's Madden rating was too low. Their GM has come out and said publicly that he answers to a 17-year-old when it comes to personnel decisions.
Wow. I thought did they fire their GM?
They did, yeah.
I can't believe
Joe Douglas.
A storied quarterback like Aaron Rodgers chose to go to an organization like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, Jets
Wow.
ownership.
Because I guess Aaron Rodgers had to dig into this organization before he decided to go. I mean, he was the biggest at that time. He was the biggest quarterback.
Oh yeah,
on the market.
Yeah, Jets ownership, first empty stomach.
Don't want to play there right now. I can tell you that.
Nah, not whatsoever.
Go ahead, Cam. Shoot! I had a another full plate. Cam, I was watching ESPN this morning. I'll be really quick. ESPN stats. The guru. I feel like the ESPN stat guys are like the offensive linemen of ESPN. They don't get the credit that they deserve. I'm giving them the credit. Watching ESPN this morning, Victor Wembanyama had a night. 40 points, da-da-da-da-da. Cam, I'm going to tell you something. He is the first player in NBA history to have 8 rebounds. No, I'm sorry. 8 blocks, 7 steals, 6 assists, and 5 forced turnovers or something like that. Some bizarre stat. And I'm like, who the hell is sitting there going on Google? When's the last time a player had 8 blocks? When's the last time a player had 7 steals? When's the last time a player had in this game? You know how long that research would have to do, Cam? As a man that has to do a lot of research at work, and I absolutely hate research. ChatGPT can only help you so much, brother. I thought that was freaking pretty cool that some of the stats they come up with. It's crazy.
Dude, they come up with stats. It's not like you'll look and it'll be like, LeBron James is the first player to have a stat line of 34 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, and 0 turnovers on a December 12th night where the weather is above 32 degrees.
It's incredible.
It's 1964. And
it's
like,
incredible. They must have some like ChatGPT AI platform specific to ESPN where they can just look this stuff up really fast. It's incredible.
I like to think that the guys just go through all the NBA stat lines over the years, and they're just like, did this guy do it? Did this guy do it?
Just imagine back in the day, like, when you watch like old ESPN with I can't remember his name. What's the guy's name on ESPN? He passed away from cancer. It was the black guy with the glasses. You know who I'm talking about? Stuart Scott. So you watch like old days, like ESPN, where he's like running the thing and he's giving out all these stats. Like, they didn't have computers back then, dude. So it's like guys literally pen and paper going over stat lines, like on an Excel, like a printed off Excel file. It's just, I don't know. It's crazy.
I will say though, nobody's fact checking these guys.
Yeah.
Like if they put that stat up, nobody's like, actually, 1982, Dominique Wilkins did in a preseason game.
Hey, Cam, tell me if you agree with the other Cam. I'm taking Lamar over any other NFL QB.
Yeah, I disagree.
You're building a franchise around one NFL QB right now. Is it Lamar Jackson?
No, I love Lamar.
Lamar Jackson can't even beat the Steelers, bro.
Dude,
they can't even beat an in-division rival.
Speaking of ESPN stats, this bothers me. They keep saying Lamar Jackson's 1-4 against the Steelers. No, he's like 1-7 against the Steelers. Like this, they're trying to make it like what it's not. He's 1-7.
Stats is right about Lamar Jackson don't lose in the NFC.
No, he does not.
I tell you what, he wants to come to a team and win. You come to an NFC team, according to his track record, he will be the next Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes mix. But
remember there was 2 weeks there where we thought he was going to be a Washington Redskin football team commander. My last empty stomach award, I'm going to give this one to Marshall football. I know we talked about it. Dude, they have totally mishandled this coaching situation.
Yeah.
They had a coach who had success for Marshall. Before they played in the conference championship game, they decided that they're not going to renew his contract. He won the daggum conference award, and now he's going to Southern Miss, a worse program for less money to coach.
Yeah.
They've lost 25 players in the portal. They just said last week, they're not playing their bowl game.
I saw that.
So you're losing out on the revenue from a bowl game. You're getting what could very well possibly be a worse head coach, and you've lost, a third of your team.
Yeah.
I feel bad for these seniors who aren't playing in a bowl game. Like they work their asses off to go play in a bowl game. You got 60 guys. Go play in the daggone bowl game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let these guys play one time.
I will say too that what I heard from Marshall is he had an agreement with the school that he was at the beginning of the year. He was his contract was coming up to the end. He was like, "Hey guys, just want to let y'all know, because Marshall was projected to be pretty good this year, and he was like, "Hey, I do want to let y'all know, like, I am probably going to go somewhere else." I know he did plan on going to another school. Kind of like, the Eric Bieniemy UCLA situation. Everybody's blowing that out of proportion. Like Eric Bieniemy was fired by UCLA after 1 year. Like, no, he wasn't fired. He knew the head coach very well, had an agreement with the head coach. Like, hey, I'll come coach with you for 1 year, but after that, I'm going back to the NFL. So that's like the rumor I heard. Who knows if it's true or not? But yeah, Marshall's in shambles right now.
Yeah, Marshall's in rough shape. Ward, question of the week, man. We talked about New Orleans. You spent the weekend there. What is your favorite New Orleans dish?
So, Cam, I've been this was my 10th NFL state, 9th or 10th NFL stadium. This New Orleans is a city very unique. If you ever get a chance, go. I know Breeze Airlines has flights out of Raleigh, direct round trip flights. We got ours for like $160. So everything else there is a little more expensive, but I had gumbo there that was freaking incredible. It actually made me. I was texting you about it yesterday. I came home and I made gumbo yesterday all day. It was an all-day thing for me. It was freaking incredible. I had 3 bowls of it for dinner last night, Cam. So I stepped on the scale this morning, a little bit heavier than usual. But anyway, best food I had, and it's something they're famous for: char-grilled oysters. Cam, usually I'm a raw oyster guy. Usually I like an oyster when it looks like you sneeze in your hand. There's a bunch of snot in your hand. That's how I like my oysters to look. Anyway, Cam, so they have something there called char-grilled oysters where they have a giant grill. They throw 100 oysters on there at one time, and they throw a bunch of butter and this like flour. It looks like Moss seafood breading on top of the oysters, and then get it real hot, and then finish it off with butter. The oyster comes to your table with all this juicy stuff in it, and then bread. And you dip the bread in the juice, eat the bread, and then you pick up these oysters, which are extremely hot, by the way, because of the grill, and you eat. Their oysters are freaking incredible there. All the food we had there was absolutely incredible. But there's a place called Drago's, and we ate there twice, dude. We were slamming beers one night at the casino, and I'm like, screw it. I've already lost $100 at the casino. Maddie, let's go get a dozen Drago's oysters and go back to the hotel and eat and go to bed. And yeah,
that's awesome. That's all. Did you have a beignet while you're there?
Did not. I did not get a chance to have one of those.
They're good. They're good.
Yeah, we tried to go one day. It's called Jackson Square in New Orleans, which is like a famous historical landmark. There's the most famous beignet restaurant is right there. We got there at 9:00. There was a line of 200 people waiting to get one. And I'm like, damn, I wish I could have, but I was not waiting 3 hours to get one.
No, they're not worth that long of a wait. Yeah. But they're good. I think jambalaya is at the top of the list for me. Gumbo's right there. Anything that's not good for you, you can find new.
Crawfish etouffee or etouffee.
Yes.
That's very. I had that when I was down there. That was very good too.
I don't think you can have a bad dish in New Orleans. If you do, you gotta be looking for it because it's tough to beat.
And you gotta go, especially if you like a little bit of spicy, which I love spicy food. If you like a little kick in your food, New Orleans is the way to go. I had something called turtle soup, Cam. Turtle soup, a big old snapper. Turtle soup was good too. I like
it. Ward, we're a little bit late to the party on this one, but we got to talk about it. Bill Belichick took the UNC job. What's your first thoughts of Belichick at UNC, and how do you think it looks for him?
So, I want to say good for Carolina. I did not think that was the direction Carolina was going to go in, but I know Bill Belichick, knowing how Carolina is, it's either going to go really good or really bad because Belichick is not the type to adjust to new outcomes in football. So Belichick is very stuck in his ways. He's like 75, 76 years old. He's been extremely successful. But Cam, Belichick historically was not a good guy in the draft. I'm just curious how he's going to have a conversations with an 18-year-old kid coming in, and the kid's like, how much money can I make? I've been seeing a bunch of stuff on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok about it, but it scares me from a recruiting perspective because, state of North Carolina, it's primarily been split 50-50 between North Carolina usually edges out a few more. Like they'll get 5 4-stars. NC State will get 3 4-stars. Usually they do have higher ranking recruiting classes, but we have a very good developmental program in Raleigh where we're good at, getting these guys in here, redshirting them, getting them in the weight room for a year, transitioning their bodies, and then putting them in. But I do think Belichick's going to be able to recruit. I will say that. I think we'll see how he does in the transfer portal. I know he's landed a couple guys. But, dude, you're 18 years old. Do you want to play for Bill Belichick?
Absolutely.
Me too. Not for Carolina. Absolutely. But I do want to play for Bill Belichick. So I'm curious to see, man. I'm curious to see how – I did love what C.J. Bailey, our quarterback, said. He said, yeah, Bill Belichick can get it too. And I'm like, hell yeah, he can. But yeah, so I'm curious to see what happens. What do you think about the whole Bill Belichick situation?
They are going to get a ton of buzz early. Like there's going to be a lot of kids.
Just like Mac Brown did. Mac Brown signed a top 5 recruiting class his second year or something like that.
There's going to be a lot of kids that want to go play for Bill. Now, if they win, it'll keep going. If they don't, it'll start to fizz out. If you look at the award, have you seen some of his contract details?
I know it's 10-year or is it 5-year, $50 million?
It's 5 years.
I know that's the money. I know he's setting his son up. So his son, I don't know who his son is coached for. I'm sure he's coached for him. I don't know anybody outside of Bill that his son is coached for. You may know.
He was the DC for Washington last year.
Okay. So, okay. I didn't know that. So his son has experience. And Washington went to the playoff last year.
This season. So he wasn't a part of the playoff team.
Okay. I didn't know that. But I know something about his girlfriend, his 24-year-old girl, which, by the way, Cam, unpopular opinion. I think if you are a grown man, like in your 60s, 70s, and you are dating a lady that is younger than your daughter, I find that a little bit weird personally. Yeah. But hey, whatever floats your boat.
I wonder if he threw us a piece of the contract that she gets like a free master's from.
I saw she does.
Okay. Good for her, man. Good for her. Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game, man. Yeah. Good for her. Imagine they break up and being her next boyfriend, and she's like, "Yeah, Bill Belichick's my ex." It's
you take her out to eat, like first date, like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you to a nice restaurant. I'm gonna take you to Angus Barn." Any Raleigh people listening to this, Angus Barn is it's the local beef haven restaurant. It's where you go get a very nice steak on a special occasion. And imagine picking a girl up like this, meet her on Tinder, be like, "Hey, I'm going to take you to Angus Barn. We'll go get a bottle of wine, eat a nice steak." And you get there and say, "Oh, have you ever been here before?" "Oh, yeah, I used to come here once a week." "Oh, once a week? Who brought you here?" "I used to date Bill Belichick." Oh, okay.
All right.
I bet I'm faster than him, though. I know I can lift more weights than Bill Belichick, but he has just a little bit more money than me.
Yeah, just a little bit. But I think Belichick will be good. I did see that his buyout after the season drops from $10 million to $1 million.
Interesting. I didn't see that.
So it feels like this might be a 1-year deal, and then he gets his son in there, and he probably takes another job. But Bill Belichick, UNC.
I wonder where Bill Belichick is going to live too. Like, I wonder if he's going to buy a house in Durham or if he's going to buy a house in Chapel Hill.
Well, and
he's going to buy Mac Brown had a 8-bedroom mansion at his house.
Sounds about right.
I want to tell you this real quick, Cam. So one of my best friends in Raleigh, not a sports guy, but he owns a plumbing company, knows nothing about sports. He did a job at Mac Brown's house 2 years ago in his guest room. So every shower in Mac Brown's house has the University of North Carolina logo ingrained in the marble on the shower floor. Okay. And anyway, my buddy Carl was messing around. He had no idea who Mac Brown was. He thought he was this old dude that was rich. He did a job for him and fixed his toilet or whatever. Came down, got the bill, and he goes, Mac Brown walks in. He's like, "Yeah, Mac, you must be a big Carolina fan, huh?" And Mac's like, "Yeah." And it was just it was like extremely awkward because Mac Brown had the assumption that this guy knew who he was, and this guy had no idea who Mac Brown was. But I don't know. I always think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a good story. Sorry, I got work already started.
No, you're good, brother.
Ward, let's move on. Travis Hunter, again, we're late on this, but Travis Hunter did win the Heisman. I want to get your thoughts on Travis Hunter winning the Heisman. Do you think Genty should have won? Do you think Travis Hunter should have won? What were your overall thoughts of the Heisman?
I think Travis Hunter should have won. Yes, dude, it is very, very, very rare that you see a two-way player doing the things that Travis Hunter does. He's one of the best defensive backs in the country. He's also one of the best wide receivers in the country. So, and obviously with all the buzz that Colorado gets, and Cam, I know Colorado's a 9-win football team, brother. I know you said they're going to win like 5 games. They've won a couple big games, so. Cool to see, a program just completely transition from winning 3 games in the year of 2021 and 2022 combined to, being bowl eligible last year and then this year winning 9 games and finishing 3rd in the Big 12. But yeah, I thought that I think it's much deserved for Travis Hunter.
Absolutely.
Travis Hunter's a little country boy too, man. I kind of like him.
Yeah, the Heisman Trophy is supposed to go to the most outstanding player in college football. Travis Hunter was an incredible wide receiver and an incredible defensive back. If somebody tells you different, they're an idiot, by the way.
Yeah.
He was incredible.
And I will say, I think if Ashton Judy played Power 5 football, he wins the Heisman. If he's playing Power 5 competition week in and week out, he wins the Heisman. But when you're playing Colorado State, Utah State, UNLV, like some school, like don't get me wrong, Boise State's great, but he has a lot of really great players around him playing against a little bit below talent. So
absolutely. And Ashton Jeanty is incredible. Like he
is incredible. He's gonna be a great NFL player.
Yes, like 2 things are allowed to be true. Travis Hunter is incredible. Ashton Jeanty is incredible. This is the closest Heisman race since like 2006. Travis Hunter dominated 2 sides of the football. Ashton Jeanty ran for almost 2,500 yards.
And you love to see too where I feel like every 2006, I believe that's when Mark Ingram. No. Reggie Bush won in 2006. Our Texas quarterback won in 2006. I don't know.
Yeah, Vince Young won.
Vince Young won in 2006. But usually every year with the Heisman, we always know who's going to win. We know whose names are going to be called. I know day of Heisman race, Travis Hunter was like a -500 to win, and Ashton Jeanty was like a -300. You had no idea whose name they were going to call. So I don't know. Thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the right man won, but if you thought Jeanty should have won, good for you. I don't like that we're like downgrading how incredible these guys are to.
I know.
Ward, college football playoff. Just the overall thoughts. We'll get into the games, but overall thoughts on the playoff. And one piece of news, real quick. UGA announced today that they are prepared to go the whole playoff. Carson Beck, like he has not been with the team since they came back from break. So, just thoughts on the overall playoff and thoughts on Beck not being with the team.
I will say this, Cam. Scroll down on your Google Doc. I have all the first round playoff games listed out. I want you to tell me, rather than an overall, we'll do the outlook. What game on paper excites you the most?
Ohio State, Tennessee is
me too.
Absolutely. I think that's the best matchup of the first round. Like I think Notre Dame's going to dominate Indiana. I think Penn State is going to dominate SMU. Texas Clemson is like piques my interest.
Me too. I think Texas is going to play. I think Clemson's going to play Texas a lot closer than people think. Though Dabo's going to have those damn boys fired up. Texas is a great football team. Clemson's a good football team too. You got to think, dude. Dabo's been here so many times.
Absolutely.
He knows how to control the tempo of a game like this. Like Sarkisian has only been here once. Like when he was in Alabama, like don't get me wrong, he was there, but it's a lot different from being a coordinator to a head coach in a situation like this. Nobody's been in a 12-team playoff though. It's the damn birthday, year 0 or 1 technically. It's Zero's birthday. You were born today. One day old.
When you're Sark and you got Nick Saban beside you. And when the year they won, like it makes life a lot easier. So, Clemson, Texas piques my interest, but I think Tennessee, Ohio State for sure is the best.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, overall, Cam, I know you asked me a question too about UGA prepared to go without Carson Beck. I mean, Cam, has this guy played that good this year? He's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but it's like
I wouldn't say that.
Hey,
I wouldn't say he's a good quarterback.
call
He's
me
been terrible this year.
Call me crazy. I'm putting Will Howard, who I've been talking shit about all year. I'm putting Will Howard and Carson Beck in the same room together.
Yeah.
Elite quarterbacks in room A, mid or not. I don't want to say mid tier to good, mid to upper tier, good quarterbacks in room B. So, your elite is like your rank 1. I'm just throwing it in like college football ranks. Your rank 1 through 5 is elite. You're good to mid tier. I was going to throw a couple teams out there, but like your Ole Miss, they're a good football team. They're not a great football team. SMU, throw SMU in there. They're a good football team. Clemson, good football team, but they're not a great football team.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think Carson Beck, like he was projected, third betting favorite to win the Heisman, all this shit. Hell no.
Well,
so I think they're fine, Cam.
We got to game 3, and people were talking about Carson Beck, Shadur Sanders. Dude, if you switch those two guys, Shadur Sanders plays for Georgia. I don't know if they lose a football game this year.
Okay, hey, Cam, who's the first quarterback drafted this year?
Shadur Sanders.
Over Cam Ward, you think so?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
I think he's a better quarterback.
Carson Beck's ranked 3.
No way.
Carson Beck is ranked 3 as of this morning on ESPN.
That's ridiculous.
Third, well, not third overall, third quarterback.
No, I know. Yeah. Bad year to need a quarterback, by the way. Bad year to need a quarterback.
I know. Thank God we got Jaden Daniels when we did, boy, because I don't want any of these guys.
Ward, I talked about the future of college football and Diego Pavia. Diego Pavia won a court case this week.
Saw that.
Basically stating that he had played 6 years of college football. He's claiming, or 5 years of college football. He's claiming that his 2 years of JUCO shouldn't count. So he will get an extra year of eligibility for college football play. This is huge, by the way. Like, this is going to change the landscape. Like, all these high school kids that, maybe go to a FCS school and then transfer up, they're going to go to JUCOs. Like, we thought JUCO football was dead with the transfer portal. It's right back. It did the Undertaker meme. It's back.
Yeah.
This is going to set a weird precedent in college football, the award. Like, we're regularly going to see 25, 26 years old playing college football. I don't like it. To me, you get 4 years to play. You get a 5 year if you got a red shirt. All that COVID junk is out. Like, there's no more guys.
All these guys get that COVID year. These medical red shirt is such a term it's such a broad term. You can play 5 games, get hurt, and have a medical red shirt, or you can play half a game, get hurt, and have a medical red shirt. We need to have a game amount set in stone. If you dress for 4 games, 3 games, and you get hurt, there is no medical red shirt. It's not if you finish this game, finish that game. No, if you dress and are on the active roster, on the game day roster for that day, no, that's it's just like red shirt eligibility, dude. If you play 4 games as a red shirt freshman, you cannot be in a red shirt anymore. So
we also need to lay out the rules of this, because when there's so many guys that get waivers, and then you look at the next guy who didn't, and it's like, why is that guy eligible to stay playing college football and this guy isn't? You know what I mean? Like, we need a set of rules that this is how much you can play. Because all these waivers and this guy getting this and that guy getting that, it's ridiculous. If you take a transfer and you what bothers me more than anything, these guys that get an 8th year why does Cam Rising have another year of college football?
That the kid from Oregon or Oklahoma State?
Utah.
Oh, yeah. I saw the kid from Oklahoma State just got his 8th year granted of eligibility.
Yes.
And he came on Twitter and said, I think 7's enough. I'm going to the NFL draft.
Hey, good for him. And he'll be
what more can you study at that point? You get you get a degree in 4 years, unless you have to stay an extra year, which a lot of people I know had to. Nothing wrong with that. And then you get a graduate. I mean, Madison just got her master's in 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and then let's be honest here. If you're still playing college football, if you're in year 8, obviously the dream is to play in the NFL, correct? Brother, if you played 8 years of college football and you ain't got drafted, you ain't playing in the NFL, dog. I kind of get it now with the NIL and all that stuff. Like, you get to make money. And a lot of guys, like, this is the only chance they'll have to make money. But, like, you're taking so many opportunities away from high school kids.
Yeah.
Like it's just I don't get it. Like, there's no reason a 25-year-old, 26-year-old should be playing college football. Let's be honest. But moving on, Ward, Quinn Ewers. Have you seen all this stuff going on about Quinn Ewers? Like all the drama?
They're trying to force him out.
So Quinn Ewers, like, there's a stay or go decision. A lot of people are telling him to come back to college. Only problem is he comes back to college, he's probably not going to start because Manning has been better than him. Let's be honest. There's a Big Ten team apparently that has $4 million ready to go if he enters the portal. So my question to you, Ward, if you're Quinn Ewers, do you stay at Texas? Do you go to the transfer portal? Or do you go to the NFL?
It's his third
He's
year.
He's got like a third round draft grade right now.
Third round draft pick.
Yes.
Wow. So he'll come out. He'll get I think what's the signing bonus for a 3-year guy? $2.5 million, or maybe $2 million a year with a $2.5 million. Is it that much or not?
I don't even think it's that much.
Maybe a $1.5 million signing bonus, and you get $2 million a year, maybe on contract. They'll sign you to a 2 to 3 year deal. That's a good question, dude. He's a projected third round guy. That's crazy.
Yes. This is me, and like we're getting to the point where, like, if you're in college football,
the thing is, if he comes back, do they risk the chance of losing Arch Manning? I'm not sitting behind a guy for 3 years. I'm gone if that's the case.
Steve Sarkisian will tell Quinn Ewers to kick rocks. And let's be honest, Quinn Ewers has kept a lot of football teams in games with Texas this year.
Yes.
He has made a lot of mistakes for a junior that's supposed to be the guy.
Yeah.
He's been very underwhelming this year.
But we've seen so little of Arch Manning.
Cool.
We've seen so little of him. Like, it's hard to say he's played better than Quinn Ewers just because we've seen him. You know, he played a couple drives against Georgia. Had a few good drives against Georgia. I know he's played a couple. You know, he's got it a couple of times. It's just like, you know, they still like don't get like, yeah, there's talent there, but Quinn Ewers still has led this offense to a college football playoff. You know, they didn't win the SEC championship. They lost to, and don't throw Georgia is a damn good football team.
Absolutely.
They almost lost to a Kentucky team. You know, they got beat by an Alabama team. Who else did Georgia? They lost 2 games. They lost to Alabama. Was it Ole Miss? Ole Miss beat them at home, or at Ole Miss. You know, like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's tough, man.
You know, the most damning thing to me, though, when you talk about Arch Manning, is like how often they throw him in the mix during games to get like a championship.
I know.
Like, if Quinn Ewers is that good, like, there's no question. Like,
and you get that.
By the way, Ward, if Quinn Ewers was that good, there would be no question whether he's going to the draft or not.
I know. So, what Big Ten team has money lined up for him? Ohio State?
Michigan State.
Michigan State. Interesting. Well, I mean, I can tell you right now, if Quinn Ewers decides to enter the portal, everybody is going to try to throw that guy money.
Yeah. Apparently Bill is trying to get him already. Like, Bill wants him at Carolina.
Oh, dear God.
Speaking of quarterbacks, by the way, Malik Murphy from Duke, former Texas quarterback, was on a visit to Kentucky, and he said apparently his number started at $3 million.
Wow.
He committed to Oregon State yesterday.
Did he end up committing to Oregon State?
Did, yes.
I know he came from he committed somewhere. He was a transfer guy. He transferred into Duke last year.
Yeah, he was at Texas, and then he went to Duke. Yeah.
And he was a good quarterback this year.
He's a
good state test.
Let me say this. Duke got Mensa from Tulane. I think Malik Murphy's a way better quarterback than Mensa.
Yeah.
But
has that Tulane coach, I know they're playing tonight. Is he going to go somewhere? I thought he was the front runner to get any job.
He re-upped, man. He's staying at Tulane this year.
Wow.
They got TJ Finley in the portal, Ward. Do you remember TJ Finley?
Oh,
started at LSU.
Ryan Finley's little brother?
No.
Oh.
TJ Finley, former 5-star quarterback, started LSU, went to Auburn, I think, and then he went to like Texas State, and he was at Western Kentucky last year. And now he's going to Tulane. He's played at 5 schools in 5 years.
Wow.
But yeah. Moving on. I do want to give a quick shout out, man. FCS playoffs start on Saturday. I know a lot of you guys won't be watching, but if you do, these are going to be some fun games. We got North Dakota State.
How far did Mercer make it? I'm sorry to cut you off. You mentioned FCS playoff. Who beat them?
They got beat last week to Montana State.
Was it last week?
Yeah, so they made the Elite Eight.
And they lost to who, you said?
I think it was Montana State. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, we got North Dakota State, South Dakota State. We got Montana State versus South Dakota. So this is
Austin Prey went pretty far. I don't know who beat them.
Yeah, but
I always try to keep up with all the FCS stuff, especially with SoCon.
These Montana and Dakota schools are so fun to watch. Like if you get a chance to watch them, if you got 5 TVs set up, throw it on TV. But Ward, we're moving on. NFL real quick. If you're picking today, you've got to vote. Who's your MVP? Who's your offensive player of the year? Who's your defensive player of the year? Who's your offensive rookie of the year and defensive rookie of the year?
Cool. All right, Cam, I'll run through them. MVP this year is you have to go Josh Allen. I feel like a lot of people are throwing Lamar Jackson talk around there. I was trying to argue for Lamar Jackson. I get on Vegas odds. Josh Allen is a minus 900 to win the MVP. So kind of hard not to bet against that. So Josh Allen, he has been incredible, dude. And you look at the talent around him, it's not like he has a Stephon Diggs. They're playing better without Stephon Diggs, who's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. So I think Allen has and this is going to be his first MVP too, if he wins. So Josh Allen, offense rookie of the year, Jaden Daniels. Obviously, Jaden Daniels has been absolutely. He is complete, solely responsible for waking a fan base up. Yeah. So Jaden Daniels, offense rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year. I think personally, and I hate to say this, I think it's Quinyon Mitchell out of the Eagles. He has been absolutely incredible, dude. Terry McLaurin is the first Washington receiver to have double-digit touchdowns since 1991, Cam. Last time we played the Eagles, Quinyon Mitchell held him to 1 catch for 5 yards, dog. And he mirrored Terry the whole game. So it didn't help that Jaden was hurt that game and he was a little beat up, but yeah. So he's my defensive rookie of the year. My offensive player of the year right now, I'm throwing it to Jamar Chase. I think Saquon's had a hell of a year as well. But dude, look at what Jamar Chase is. I think Jamar Chase has 16 touchdowns right now. Yep. Something incredible. He's at 1,900 yards. I know it's kind of hard to give it to a team that hasn't been playing good. And speaking of that, we were just talking about this pre-podcast. Fat Katz Nation, take a guess. I'm going to give you guys 5 seconds, okay? Right now, who is leading the NFL in sacks? Text me or Cam. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bam. Text, and I want to see if you get it right. It's Cam. What's the guy's name again from the Eagles?
It's Trey Hendrickson.
Trey Hendrickson. There it is. I knew it was Hendrickson. I forgot his first name.
Is he tied with Daniil Hunter? Is it both 12.5?
He had Daniil Hunter has 12. He has 12.5. So he is the outright number one. The Bengals have been the statistical worst defense in the NFL this year, and somehow this damn guy is. And credit to him, because when teams get up on other teams, Cam, they don't throw the ball. They're running the football. And this guy's still leading the team in sacks, or still leading the NFL in sacks, which I think is kind of cool. So, Cam, what did I miss?
Defense player of the year.
Oh.
I thought you were going to go Trey. I thought you were giving two big Eagles offensive player, defense player of the year there for a second.
Yeah. I won't say a Washington guy. Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah,
I know Dexter Lawrence. It's hard to give it to him, but he got hurt. But Dexter Lawrence is still fifth in the NFL in sacks, and he hasn't played in a month. So
he's also very easily the best interior defense lineman
in the NFL. Yes.
I'll go real quick. NFL.
Hey, Cam, run through this. I got to run through the pistol real quick.
All right, I'm gonna go with Josh Allen at MVP, offensive player of the year. Ward went Jamar Chase. I'm gonna keep it with the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow, even though they haven't been good this year. Joe Burrow has been statistically probably the best quarterback in the league. So Joe Burrow is going to get my offensive player of the year. Defensive player of the year, you already know. TJ Watt, best defensive player in football, easily getting. He's gotten robbed out of 2 Defensive Player of the Years. Give him this one. This will be a second Defensive Player of the Year. I think T.J. Watt wins that one. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Jaden Daniels is going to win it, but I want to give some love to my guy Joe Alt. Man, he's been one of the best right tackles in football. He's playing for the Chargers out of Notre Dame. He's not going to win it because offensive linemen don't win this award, but Joe Alt has been incredible this year, and I wanted to show some love. But it is Jaden Daniels. Bo Nix was making a little bit of a run there for a little bit, but I think he's out of it. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Quinyon Mitchell is a good option. I like Jared Verse though. I don't know if the stats back it up, but when you watch Rand's game, like Jared Verse pops off the TV. Like he is very obviously one of the best players on that defense, if not the best player on that defense. So I'm gonna throw it to my guy Jared Verse out of Florida State. Willow Pillow, what's up,
Hey,
girl?
Fat Katz Nation.
Bark.
Sniffing the microphone. Tell Willow. Bark. Hey, baby. All right.
She's the best, man. She's the best. Ward, I'll go through it real quick for you. I had Allen MVP. I had Burrow Offensive Player of the Year. I had T.J. Watt Defensive Player of the Year. I had Jaden Daniels Rookie of the Year, and I had Jared Verse Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Jared Verse plays for who again?
The Rams.
Rams. That's it.
Rams.
That's it.
Real quick, or not real quick, Ward. This will be this is the big part of the podcast, I guess. College football playoff. Like we said tonight, we got Notre Dame, Indiana. Notre Dame is 6.5-point favorites in South Bend. I think this will be the first time these two teams have played since like the 60s.
Been a long time, which is crazy to think about because they're 3 hours from each other.
Yeah. So I got Notre Dame in a landslide. I think I already talked about this. I think Notre Dame is far and away the better football team. We saw what happened when Indiana goes against a good football team in Ohio State. That was their only ranked opponent of the year, Ward, and they got blasted. So I think Notre Dame, same thing.
Yeah. Cam, I'm tell you for a whirlwind. This Notre Dame team lost week 2. They beat Texas A&M week 1. Week 2, Cam, coming off a big loss or big win, they lose to a Northern Illinois, a MAC. Just like that MAC truck hat, they lost to a MAC team.
Yeah, this is your NIU
hustle. Okay?
Your favorite MAC team.
4, this Northern Illinois team coming off a big win against Notre Dame, ranked 17th in the country, 4-0 or 3-0, comes down to Raleigh, Cam, and CJ Bailey in the NC State Wolfpack beat the hell out of that Northern Illinois team, Cam. This Notre Dame team is not cut from the cloth to be able to make a run in this college football playoff. They have not beat very high quality teams. And don't get me wrong, they beat some guys. I know they beat USC barely. They beat Texas A&M week 1, which, you know, it playing in Texas A&M and beating them is a hard thing to do. But they're just, you know, like every year Notre Dame is in this conversation, you know, and Cam, you know this. They don't play anybody, man. Like 2 of their wins are against Army Navy. You know, like don't get me wrong, Army Navy, they're good football teams, but they're not Power 5 schools. Like this team gets away with playing 4 to 5 non-Power 5 schools every single year, Cam. And this Indiana Hoosier fan base has woken up. That is all they are talking about in the state of Indiana is Indiana football. Indiana has beat teams. They're in the Big Ten. They beat a very good Nebraska team. That, you know, they got kind of thrashed by Ohio State. They beat Michigan at the Big House. Michigan beat Ohio State at Ohio State. You know, like this team is battle tested. I think they're more battle tested, long-winded. I think they're more battle tested than Notre Dame. So you know what? I'm going to pull a Pat McAfee here, and I'm going to stand up on my chair and say, yeah, I think Indiana beats Notre Dame, Cam.
Okay. Indiana outright. Okay, cool. Southern Methodist out of Dallas, SMU, pony up.
Yep.
Travels to State College to play the Penn State Nittany Lions. Penn State is 8.5-point favorites. Ward, 2 things to look at before this game. Bro Prabula, the backup quarterback at Penn State, has entered the transfer portal and will not be with the team. So if Drew Lar goes down, they're going to be leaning on a third-string true freshman quarterback. And by the way, like they had a lot of sets for Bo Prabula. Like he played a lot for this team. Like a lot of 2 quarterback sets, a lot of, you know, running downs. So they'll be without a weapon. And ticket sales, Ward. Penn State their AD came out yesterday and was like begging the fan base to buy tickets. Apparently, they have like 10,000 unsold tickets for this
You have
game.
got to be kidding me.
Students are out of town for Christmas break, so
You have got to be kidding me.
dude,
Well, I know, being you both being in college, like Christmas break, people leave. People go back home. Penn State is in the middle of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a very, very large state. Wow, I didn't know that. That
well,
just
and by
completely
the
kills
way,
my argument.
it's not gonna get like it's not easy to get to State College. Like you've got to get off the highway. It's probably an hour.
Have you ever been?
I've been once, yeah.
Have you?
It's
Cool
probably
state. Have you been to a football game?
no, we just
You
drove.
haven't?
But it's like an hour off
Uh-oh,
the
Mingo's walking in. The big dog.
big dog's here.
That's the real big dog. Like
He's woken up from his slumber. He went to sleep at about 7 p.m. last night, and he just woke up. So I don't know how he opened that door by himself. But anyways, yeah, State College, not easy to get to. Penn State has a lot of unsold tickets. I still think Penn State's the better team. I think they win this game. I think they've got better trenches. But Ward, what's your thoughts on the game?
Well, Cam, you just kind of killed my whole argument, but I'm going to pretend that you didn't say that. So anyway, I'm going to reverse back about 2 minutes before Cam's rant. SMU, good football team, but they're a team that is coming from the American Athletic Conference. Their biggest stadium that they played in this year was Florida State. This team has not played in a big, loud football stadium yet. They're going to Happy Valley, Penn State, which is statistically a top 5 loudest, hardest stadium to play in the NCAA. These guys are good, but it is different than when you get in front of, and especially in a college football playoff atmosphere, into a stadium like that, it gets different. So, Cam, for that, I think Penn State's going to win, and I think Penn State's going to cover. Especially if SMU started out very slow against Clemson, they turned it on in the second half. If SMU starts slow in this football game, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, give me hate the pick against the ACC. Give me Penn State.
All right, Ward, moving on. Probably the second best matchup of the weekend. We have Clemson traveling to Texas. Texas is 12-point favorites versus the Tigers. I think Texas is a better football team, but like we talked about, Dabo's been there. Cade Klubnik, like he doesn't pop off the page, but he's a solid quarterback.
Yeah,
I don't think this is a 12-point football game. I do think Texas wins in the end, but 12 points is a little bit rich for my blood.
I think 12 points is extremely rich. I just said I think it's going to be a 4-quarter game. Dabo's going to have those boys ready to roll. I do think Texas ends up edging it out. I'm pulling for Clemson. Damn, I'm pulling hard for Clemson. But yeah, I do think Texas, unfortunately, ends up edging it out. All right, Cam. I have
Wait, one second. I do want to say, 1 second. If you're watching this game, watch these two front sevens on defense.
Yes.
These are two of the best front sevens on defense in college football. It'll be fun. It's going to be a rough day to be offensive lineman in this game because these teams get after it. But go ahead.
All right, Cam. According to www.ticketmaster.com, if you decide to drive that red Ram 1500 up to College Station, Pennsylvania, and go to this game Saturday.
Let me stop you. I don't want people to make fun of you. College Station's in Texas. We're talking about state.
What is it? Penn State College. State College. Okay, you know what I mean. If you decide to drive up there and buy a ticket and go sit at the game, what's your cheapest ticket, Cam? You know I love this game. So
go $97 to get in.
44.
$44 to get the college football playoff game. That is ridiculous.
Two tickets, lowest price, $44 in section SDU, row 71.
Dude, you want to go?
No. I'm hunting Saturday, but
it's gonna be 12 degrees at kickoff.
It's gonna be cold as shit. It's gonna be 30 degrees in Hamilton County, where I will be sitting in a duck blind. So I know it's gonna be cold up there.
Yeah, Ward, we move on.
Let's jump forward.
Our favorite matchup of the weekend: Tennessee traveling to Ohio State. Tennessee fans are convinced that they're going to take over the stadium. By the way, Ohio State is
real quick before this. Cam, sorry to cut you off again.
Good.
Where does Ryan Day and his coaching future with Ohio State? If he loses this game, is he done?
Dude, if he loses this game, I don't know if he's done. I don't know if they have the money. I think his buyout's like $80 million.
Jesus.
It's going to get real nasty in Ohio
Yes.
State.
It was
Like, it's
really nasty when they lost to Michigan. Really nasty when they
It's
lost
going to
to
get
Michigan.
bad. But
Because
from
I have a
Ohio-
good buddy that's a big Ohio State fan, and he said that Ohio State has to win 2 games in the playoff if Ryan Day wants to stay. Because they're going to have to beat Oregon. The winner of this game is going to, I believe, Cam, we'll have to pull up let's pull up the bracket really quick.
I got it. I got it here right now if you want.
Screen share, if you don't
One
mind.
sec. Yeah.
Let's go through this. Screw going through game by game. Let's go through this bracket, and then we'll say matchups from there, if you don't mind.
See here.
For anybody tuning in on Spotify, open your phone up right now. Cam is sharing his screen, and here we go. Boom. Those guys, I don't know what the hell if him and her know what they're talking about, but we know what we're talking about. So, Ohio State, Tennessee. Cam, they're giving Tennessee 7.5 points, brother.
Dude, Tennessee's going to win this football game, Ward.
That's a lot of points, man.
I said it. What we're looking at here? Everything that Michigan did that bothered Ohio State, which is power run game, like run it down your throat. We're more physical than you. Tennessee does, while simultaneously spreading you out.
I know.
So they're going to be running against 5 and 6 guy boxes. And if you stack that box, they got one-on-one shots.
I know.
Like everything that Ohio State struggles with, which is man coverage and stopping the run, Tennessee does really well. And on defense, they probably got the best defense in college football.
Yeah.
They've undoubtedly the best front seven in college football and probably the best defense. So everything that we talk about, like Ohio State needs to get better at this, Ohio State needs to get better at that, Tennessee does really well.
Yeah.
I think they're going on the road. I think they're going to win this daggone football game.
Yeah, and you got to think, dude, this Tennessee fan base, I know you don't like Tennessee, Cam. They have woken up. Oh, my God, they have woken up. They are in the college football playoff. They are the third.
Back to glory, man. It's like they're partying like it's 1998 again.
Damn, Peyton Manning is going to be, I would assume he will probably be at this game wearing his Tennessee stuff, going crazy. You know what? I am. There's a lot of Big Ten versus SEC talk, especially this year. What conference has been better? This right here is a prove it game because Ohio State has a powerhouse, is a historical powerhouse in the Big Ten. Tennessee has been a damn powerhouse in the SEC this year. Tennessee has only they've lost 3 games, right, Cam? Alabama, Ole Miss, and Georgia?
Yep.
It's three pretty damn good teams to lose to. I hate to say out there. I know Ole Miss didn't finish the way they wanted to. Alabama didn't either. These 3 pretty good football teams, Cam. So, and Tennessee also destroyed my NC State Wolfpack in Charlotte, and I had to bear watching that game. But, yeah, screw it, man. I'm going with Tennessee. Screw Ohio State.
Actually, Ward, my bad. Tennessee only lost to Alabama and Georgia this year. So
they're a 2-loss football team. Okay.
Yes.
Alabama, Georgia, pretty good teams to lose to, Cam.
They're pretty good football teams.
Yeah.
Ward, any more thoughts on the first weekend of the college football playoff before we move on to the NFL?
Yeah, we talked Clemson, Texas already. Winner of this. You know what pisses me off, Cam? Penn State has such an easy road. I mean, I'm not knocking Boise State in any way, but Penn State has to beat SMU, and they have to beat Boise State at Boise State. Like,
dude. I mean, Texas, like 5 seed ain't that bad, dog. Like, Clemson's a good football team, but if you win that game, you gotta go play Arizona State.
I know.
Like the 6 seed and the 5 seed might be the best places to be in this tournament, man.
So if you
real quick, like if you're Oregon, you got to play the winner of Ohio State and Tennessee. And if you're Penn State, you got to be SMU and Boise State.
If you're Kentucky and y'all were good this year, would you rather be at the 6th seed right here? Would you rather play SMU week 1, or would you rather be at the 5 seed playing Clemson week 1?
Oh, I'd rather be Penn State for sure.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
For sure.
100%. But
not a bad draw.
Yeah. Tennessee has a hard road. Tennessee, Ohio State have a very hard road, Cam. They have to beat Oregon, and then they're going to have to beat Whoever
the winner,
plays
they're going to
Arizona
be the
State.
winner. Yeah, the winner of Arizona State or Texas and Clemson.
Yeah.
But like, don't think that Oregon doesn't have an easy dude. They've got to play the winner of Ohio State and Tennessee.
I know. And I'm telling you, man, Oregon's due, dog. They're gonna get beat. Oregon's gonna get beat by somebody. I'm telling you. Oregon, they beat some teams this year. Them boys are gonna get beat by somebody. I can tell you what.
Ward coming off the top rope. All right, moving on to football, and we'll get out of
Who
here.
do you think's gonna win the Natty? Right, pull that thing back up. If you had to choose one team to win the national championship today, who are you picking?
Let's see. Let me go through this one more time.
Because this is, obviously really exciting right now. So right now, if you have $100, okay, and Cam, I have a 9mm to your head, and I said, Cam, you have to put this on one team to win the national championship. What team are you putting it on?
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Damn it, I was putting it on Georgia too.
What's that coming down the track?
It is the Mean Machine at the number 2 overall seed. I ain't betting against Georgia. I don't see Alabama here. So
yeah,
Georgia lost this year. They lost for the first time to a school that is not Alabama since 2019, dog, or 2020.
Crazy.
I am not betting against Georgia. I can tell you that.
Well, some would say that they lost in Lexington, Kentucky, but I called the SEC offices about that game.
Yeah.
But anyways, Ward, we're moving on to the NFL, and we'll get out of here. Steelers Ravens. Steelers are traveling to Baltimore. TJ Watt's banged up, but he's playing. Deshaun Elliott's banged up. He's questionable. George Pickens officially ruled out of this game. Baltimore's 6.5-point favorites. This game, if the Steelers win, they lock up the AFC North. If the Ravens win.
Wow, really? Y'all clinched AFC
Yes.
North if you win this game?
Correct. Baltimore does not clinch if they win, but it puts them in the driver's seat. I think
this is a Saturday game too. So Cam, are you watching this at 4:30, or are you watching the college football playoff at 4:30?
I'm gonna have 2 TVs going for sure.
Good, smart man.
I think the Ravens win this game. I've seen this offense without Pickens. It's not very good. So I think the Ravens are going to win this game, unfortunately.
I don't know, man. Lamar Jackson does not beat y'all very much. But all right, Cam, if you are deciding to get your dad a Christmas present and you get on I-95 North and you drive straight up to Baltimore, how much you buying tickets for? Take a guess.
$147.
$211.
Jesus.
$211. You know I love to play that game, Cam. But
plus taxes and fees, man. That'll put you out.
I know. But
you got to go to Baltimore, by the way.
I know. I have not even looked up what the Skins Eagles game tickets are. I would assume they're probably like I heard they're expensive.
You're playing this game.
Sorry, baby.
Go ahead and talk about Chiefs Texans.
Okay, well, real quick, I hate to say it, but I think Lamar's due with Steelers, unfortunately. So I think Lamar wins this football. I think Lamar and the Ravens win this football game. But real quick, Chiefs Texans. This is a Chiefs team, Cam. Like, don't get me wrong. Patrick Mahomes is hurt, but guess what? They have lost one game since Christmas last year, Cam. They have lost one game in 360 days. And Texas is a -1 favorite to beat the Chiefs. I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes, dog. Patrick Mahomes has lost one time in the last 4 years as an underdog.
Never bet against.
I'm going with 15, dog.
Yeah, Chiefs went outright. Never bet against Pat Mahomes as a dog. Ward, we talked about it. You're a Commanders fan. It's at FedEx Field, correct?
At FedEx. Well, now it's called Northwest Stadium. FedEx pulled their naming rights.
Well, you just want to get into the door, man. What are you paying to get into the door here?
$250
for 2 tickets. $164.
That's it.
$164.
Wow, I thought they'd be more than that.
You're up there talking to Jesus, but it is $164.
Wow, I thought they'd be more than that. Shit.
We're just thinking about going to.
Well, you know why? The reason why that a lot of people aren't going to this game. They flexed us in Atlanta week 17, the Sunday Night Football at home. So we play the Eagles this week at 1:00. Next week, it's us in Atlanta, because at the end of the day, this is what it's going to come down to. If we do not beat the Eagles, okay, the Rams won this week. I don't know what the Falcons are going to do, but it's going to be a fucking excuse my language, it's going to be a whirlwind in the NFC wildcard picture because it's going to be 3 teams that have the same record. Also, there's a team, the Seattle Seahawks are up there, Arizona's up there. It's a whirlwind right now. So it's going to come down to us in Atlanta, like win or get in. So that's why they flexed it, which is kind of cool. But anyway, Cam, 2 years ago, the Eagles have won 10 games for the first time, or 10 games in a row for the first time in franchise history. Okay. Hats off to the Eagles. Good for them. 2 years ago, Cam, Thursday Night Football, the Eagles had just broken another franchise record, winning 9 games in a row. They went to win that 10th game in a row in Philly. Taylor Heineke and the Washington football team came to – it was Washington Commanders at that time. Taylor Heineke and the Washington Commanders marched into Lincoln Financial Stadium, and they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. 10-point dogs came in, outright won. I feel like history repeats itself, Cam. They had just won the most games in franchise history at that point, lost a game. This week, coming to FedEx Field or to Northwest Stadium. Jaden Daniels is back for revenge. Terry McLaurin didn't do anything the last game. The boys are going to be ready to roll, especially after laying a little bit of a – our offense looked good against New Orleans, but we were a little banged up. The boys are coming ready to damn play. At FedEx Field, give me Washington Commanders outright winning. First time we've won 10 games since probably the 90s.
I like that. It's a good story, Ward. They flexed you to Sunday night for a reason, brother. Vegas made a call. We're getting fireworks in this season. Eagles win next week at Sunday night against the Atlanta Falcons is a must-win for the Commanders.
Dude, it's a hard thing to do to beat a divisional rival twice in a year, Cam.
It is.
Hard thing to do.
But I think
it's going to be a good game, though. Tune in.
Michael Penix versus Jaden Daniels, Sunday Night Football. Who wants a playoff spot? But
that's interesting. They benched Kirk too, but
yeah, hell of an episode here, man. Episode 77. We hope you guys enjoyed. Ward, it was a pleasure as always, my friend.
Pleasure as always, my friend. Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody.
By the way, Merry Christmas, everybody. We won't record before Christmas, so
no.
Merry Christmas out there.
Cam, I'll see you in Charlotte next week, brother. I'll be up there. We'll go play golf together.
We might need to bring a video crew with us.
Yeah.
Shows.
Yeah. All right, brother.
All right. Peace.